nose starts to run from the difference in temperature. My hands starting to thaw. I remember sitting on one of the benches and sitting right in front of one of those washing machines that load from the front. softly and run my hands just gently over, smoothing, enjoying the feel of the fabric on my hands. Is it rough? Is it smooth? we had a blast. I remember we laid down and surrounded ourselves with the drawers. Kind of like we were in like a big box. And it was all the And sometimes she would be talking to us, and we wouldn't be listening because we were watching TV. So we would get whomped in the back of the head with a flying piece of sock or a t-shirt. It didn't hurt, it was just a little tossing a piece of clothing at somebody. But it was funny because it got our attention. It kind of jerked us out of our trance of watching the television. So those are my most prominent memories of clothes folding. And I am finishing up with the last piece of cloth. Just making sure that everything is nice and folded. The wrinkles are out. I tried to make each cloth that I folded up the same size, but each cloth was a different length. So I